Today, we're diving into something that can either build up your business or, well, tear it right down. We're talking about open source intelligence, or OSINT. It really is a double-edged sword, and for this explainer, we're leaning on a fantastic report from Virtualization Options LLC, a technology research and advisory group that's really dug into the opportunities and the very real dangers. So let's get right into it.
So let me just start with this question. Really think about it. Every single social media post, every public record, every About Us page on your company website, it's all part of this huge public puzzle. And you know what? There are people out there who are getting incredibly good at putting all those pieces together.
All right, first up, we've got to understand this massive resource that's all around us. We're not talking about some secret spy stuff here. This is like an invisible goldmine of information, and it's all just hiding in plain sight.
So, what exactly is OSINT? Well, put simply, it's the art and science of collecting intelligence from public sources. And the key word there is public. This has nothing to do with hacking. It's all about legally and ethically gathering data that's already out in the open and then using it for things like research, investigations, and analysis.
And believe me, the growth of OSINT has been absolutely explosive. But why now? Well, it's kind of like a perfect storm of three things. First, just the sheer amount of data that we all create every day is just staggering. Second, we've now got these incredibly powerful tools that can sift through all of it. And third, organizations are finally waking up to the fact that all this public data is both a massive asset and a huge vulnerability.
So let's start with the bright side, the positive stuff. When you use it the right way, OSINT is an unbelievably powerful tool for all sorts of legitimate and strategic goals.
For any smart organization, OSINT is basically like having a superpower. Imagine getting this crystal clear view of your entire market and what your competitors are up to. That's what enhanced situational awareness is. It means you end up making smarter decisions and you make them faster. You can see a rival's next move and get that competitive edge. And crucially, you can spot risks way out on the horizon long before they turn into full-blown crises.
And its uses are just so broad. In the private sector, it's the engine that powers competitive intelligence. Need to check out a new business partner? That's OSINT. And in the public sector, it's just as important. It helps law enforcement crack cases, helps intelligence agencies understand global threats, and it can even help coordinate emergency responders during something like a flood or a wildfire.
But here's the thing. Every tool can be turned into a weapon. So now we're going to pivot to the darker side, where the bad guys use these exact same techniques not to build things up, but to break them down.
Now, this is what's so fascinating. Just look at this comparison. The very same methods you use for competitive intelligence, an attacker uses for reconnaissance. Your risk management work, that becomes their roadmap for finding vulnerabilities. It is the perfect picture of that double-edged sword.
And this quote from the report really gets to the core of the threat. It's usually not about breaking down a firewall with lines of code. It's about breaking down a person with information. They use what they find to manipulate people into making mistakes, and it all kicks off with data that you probably shared publicly yourself. So how do they actually do it? Well, attackers are methodical. They use OSINT to build a very detailed map of your organization's weakest links.
And they pull information from everywhere. Social media is an absolute goldmine for personal details. Public databases have company records. Code repositories like GitHub, they can accidentally expose all sorts of sensitive info. Even online forums, where one of your employees asks a simple technical question, can reveal a critical vulnerability.
And this is how they turn that data into a weapon. It's a pretty methodical four-step attack. First, they essentially become digital stalkers, mining social media for every personal detail, your hobbies, your colleagues, where you just went on that vacation. Second, they use those details to craft a message that feels incredibly personal and urgent. Third, they trigger an emotion, fear, maybe greed, or just simple curiosity to get you to act before you have time to think. And finally, once that trust is built, they've got you. They gain your trust, and then they gain your access. And the information they find can be shockingly specific. An offhand comment in some forum might reveal you're using outdated software. A photo posted online could show a physical security weakness in your office building. Even public job postings can leak details about your internal tech stack. It's all just out there. Okay, that was the scary part. But the good news is you can absolutely fight back. So now we're going to shift gears and talk about the actionable steps you can take to build a really strong defense.
So, how do you defend against this? The report lays out a really critical 4-pillar strategy. First, you have to actively manage and lock down your organization's digital footprint. Second, and this is huge, your people are your first line of defense, so you have to educate them. Third, you need to be proactively monitoring what's being said about you online. And finally, you have to back all of this up with solid technical security measures.
Employee education is completely non-negotiable. Your team is your human firewall. They absolutely need to understand what OSINT is. They need to be trained to protect their personal data on social media. And they need to be constantly updated on the latest security best practices, like how to spot really sophisticated phishing emails. And this means getting the fundamentals right. They are so critical. Lock down your public-facing website. Go into every single corporate social media account and really scrutinize those privacy settings. And you have to enforce strong security on every device that connects to your network. That means personal and professional devices. Strong passwords, and, wherever you can, multi-factor authentication. Okay, finally, let's take a quick look at where all of this is headed. Because the world of OSINT and security is evolving at a breakneck speed.
What we're seeing here is the real evolution of security. The future is not about reacting to attacks, it's about getting there first. We're already seeing AI-powered tools that automate OSINT, which lets defenders find their own weaknesses before the attackers do. And this is pushing the entire industry toward a model of proactive defense, where organizations actually collaborate and share threat intelligence to stay ahead of the game.
So, we're going to end right where we started, with a question. Your data, your employees' data, your organization's data, it's all out there and it's creating a digital footprint. If you are not actively managing it, you can be sure that someone else is. The only question is, are their intentions for good or for ill?